these are going to be 5 different accessories that I think that you definitely need to get if you own a MacBook, especially if you're creative and you need different accessories to kind of keep up with all of your workflow. Now, if you do own a MacBook, you probably already know that the port selection is really crappy. A lot of these MacBooks only have USB-C ports, which can be really unhelpful whenever you have different dongles or different connections that you need to hook up, especially not having a USB-A port. Now, for that reason, one thing that comes into play is getting a USB-C dongle. I actually have mine hooked up to my MacBook back there, so I unfortunately can't disconnect it. What I have here in its place is another USB dongle, but this is kind of like a multi-port dongle. The one over there has 7 different ports so that you can go ahead and connect all of your peripherals. You can connect your keyboard, you can connect your mouse with 2 USB-A ports on this dongle. It also has one USB-C, that's a data port. I use this one to hook up my keyboard because I don't really use it to hook up any other USB-C devices. My MacBook has multiple USB-C ports, so if I do need to add anything for data, I just connect it straight to the MacBook. Now on the back side of it, you do get an HDMI and you get a power in so that you can go ahead and get a power out of the dongle. I believe this goes up to 85 watts, which is really great so that you can charge your MacBook while you are using it. Now I do have the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and this USB-C dongle has helped me keep my MacBook Pro charged while it is docked. Now 85 watts might not seem like a lot. I know a lot of the MacBooks are power hungry, especially the 16-inch, but for me it's worked really well and I haven't had any issues with my MacBook being uncharged. Now speaking of editing, there's something that I highly recommend that you get if you're someone that's always editing on your MacBook, and that's a pair of noise canceling headphones. Now the ones I have here are the Sony WMA-XM4s. I can't remember the name, it's really long. And then I also have the AirPods Pro, which I use kind of on the go. They're a little bit more lightweight than carrying these over the ear headphones, but these are way better, especially if you're going to be editing a lot of video footage or audio. These are really great, and the noise cancellation is really great as well. It goes ahead and blocks out any of the other noises from the outside, so you can sit down and just listen to the video. Now, if you are editing a lot of footage, even though the MacBook speakers are really great, it's always better to edit with headphones just to get a little bit more of that audio straight into your ear rather than letting it bounce off the walls and then finally hitting your ears. And by that point, you kind of lose some of that background noise. I know I have caught different things in my videos that you can't really hear with the MacBook. Even if the volume is all the way up, you can always hear it though when you have your headphones on. Now, if you do things other than just editing, I do recommend that you go with the AirPods Pro. These are really nice because they're small, they're simple, they fit in your ear, and they're really lightweight. And they're really great because they have noise cancellation as well, like I mentioned. I actually use these a lot for my meetings whenever I'm at work or whenever I'm working from home. I do put these on because it goes ahead and, again, blocks out all the noise with the active noise cancellation. And at the same time, because of that noise cancellation, whenever you speak into the microphones that are within your ear, they also don't have to hear everything from the outside. And here's accessory number 3. This is an external SSD. I highly recommend you get one such as this one from SanDisk. This is a really fast SSD that works straight into your MacBook. You do get a USB-C to USB-C dongle, so you can go ahead and hook it straight to your MacBook. You don't really need, again, that USB-C port on the dongle. You don't need that. You can just hook it straight up into the MacBook and you get a lot better reading and writing speeds. Now, the reason you want to get an external one is because it adds a lot more storage at a cheaper price. It allows you to get the base model MacBook Pro while at the same time being able to keep different external drives for different projects or different media that you have. I use this one to keep all of my backup files now for my videos. The second SSD that I have is the one that I'm using now on the Atomos Ninja 5. It's a SATA SSD drive, so it is kind of like an internal one, and I have to use a specific dongle for it to hook it up to the MacBook, but it works and it helps my workflow. It allows me to record more time, and it also is another SSD, another 1 terabyte SSD in fact, which allows me for a lot more storage. I've gotten 2 terabytes of external storage from this one, plus that one for a lot less than you would if you upgrade the MacBook itself. This is accessory number 4. This is a laptop stand that I highly recommend, especially if you are only using your MacBook as your only setup. If you need to use that, this is a lot more ergonomical. You can go ahead and lift your MacBook up. That way you're not staring down at the screen all the time. I do also recommend that you get a vertical one, such as the one I have back there. If you are someone that uses your MacBook docked and you don't use the screen for much, I do have both because I use this one for all of my meetings. My work laptop, whenever I have to set it up, I have that set up because I do jump into meetings a lot of the times throughout the day. And then whenever I'm using my personal one, I do have the vertical one like I mentioned back there because I don't really jump into a lot of meetings. The only time I use this coupled with my personal MacBook is whenever I'm editing actually this footage. I do use the MacBook kind of as my color accurate monitor. I like to throw on image on my MacBook and then have all of my timelines and all of the other footage on the monitor itself. That way I can go ahead and edit with both screens and I can get a color accurate monitor on the right. Now, I will say if you are using your MacBook as your editing laptop, make sure you turn True Tone off because that can really mess up with the colors. It might adjust it to whatever ambient you're in, and that will mess up all of the colors and you will see something different. And then once you export it and watch it somewhere else, it's going to look very different than what you edited on the MacBook itself. This is the 5th accessory that I highly recommend that you get for your MacBook. Now I kind of coupled these together because they're kind of fall under the same category, and it's just any external peripherals that you can get for your laptop will really help you out a lot. I highly recommend you get something like these Logitech MX Master 3. I swear by this mouse. Last year I was actually using some cheap mouse that I found off of Amazon for like $5. And then I ended up upgrading to this one. At first it was a little bit difficult getting adjusted to all the extra buttons, but now I just can't see myself never using this mouse because of the horizontal scroll wheel and then also the forward and back buttons here on the side. These 2 buttons are really useful, especially being able to map them. I have mapped them to either copy and paste or also to undo and redo because a lot of times I do make mistakes when I'm editing on a sheet or when I am editing my own photo. It's nice to see the difference, to see what it's like without an edit and then with an edit. Now the keyboard, I do have the Logitech MX keys here. I don't normally use this one for a lot of my work now. I have switched completely over to the Keychron Q2, which is back there on my desk. But this one is also a really great keyboard. It's a full-size keyboard, so you do have that number pad. I kind of use it more as my productivity keyboard whenever I'm working for work. I work in data, so it's a lot of numbers, a lot of number crunching. So having that extra number pad is really helpful rather than having to always use that number row up on top. This one's really low profile, it's scissor switch, and it's really compatible with MacBook. It's actually one of the better keyboards to go with the MacBook itself. This is really comparable to the Magic Keyboard offered by Apple themselves. So I highly recommend you check them out, especially if you're looking for a full-size keyboard. That's another alternative to the Apple Magic Keyboard. I will be linking all of these accessories down in the description, so make sure you check them out. Let me know which one you are getting. That is all I have for you guys today. These are the top 5 accessories I think you should get for your MacBook, whether you're a beginner or you've been using the same Mac for the last couple of years. Don't forget to like this video if you guys enjoyed the content and subscribe to not miss any of my future uploads, and I will catch you guys on the next one.